Coming up, we'll break down exactly what is going on with Bitcoin, as January is historically not a great month for crypto, plus your top altcoin picks and the answer to this rather specific subscriber question. How do I make $945,000 in crypto? All that and more. Stay right there.
Bienvenido to your crypto future.
Welcome to your crypto future, where you can learn to successfully trade the crypto market, make life-changing money, and develop a top-tier skill set that can revolutionize how you and your family live and work. Here are today's top altcoin picks. First up, this is Sleepless AI, a Web3 plus AI gaming token. Previously, the price action has put in this nice double bottom and has since broken out of this key resistance line. Currently, the price action is retesting this trend line in this nice little pocket. Given that the market is a little bit hesitant right now, you may want to wait for the price action to break back above this trend line at 1.2890 and then buy the retest as it flips back from resistance to support. Potentially 20% quick profits with this one. Next up, this is PYR, which is a utility token. Currently, the price action is trying to reclaim this lower support line here. Again, because the market is a little bit hesitant, you may want to wait for the price action to come up here and flip this trend line at 5.8356 before entering, which would give you a solid base of support for potentially up to 50% profits. Bitcoin update. You cannot successfully trade in the crypto space without knowing exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin runs this whole market. You should not enter any trade before considering what Bitcoin's next move is. So let's take a look. This is Bitcoin 2-hour chart. Previously, we had a nice bounce on this 12-hour 200 moving average, and now the price action has broken back through this key resistance area, and it's now functioning again as support. But the price action may want to confirm that a little bit more, so watch for a pullback to around this area before potentially continuing higher. For bullish continuation, we want to see this level surpassed, which is the previous high for this year, put in on the 11th of January at about $49,000. But following Bitcoin's run-up in October, November, and December, you could consider this whole range as simply consolidation and accumulation. These are the levels to watch on the 2-hour chart. This is Bitcoin 4-hour chart. Currently, the price action has broken back into this broadening wedge pattern, which is great. However, we need to successfully flip this 200 moving average for any chance of upside continuation, which is happening at the moment. So keep an eye on this moving average. We need to be above it. And of course, we need to stay in this pattern, this broadening wedge, if we have any hope of beating this previous high from the 11th of January. As a trader, it's important to visualize potential scenarios for where the price action might go. This is not a price prediction, but if Bitcoin can remain in this broadening wedge and stay above this 200 moving average, then this is the area where we will likely see the price go, potentially retesting this upper trend line and putting in a new high for the year, which would be bullish. However, if we cannot hold this lower trend line and we break back out of the pattern and we can't hold this 200 moving average, then this is the area where we might expect to see price action go. These projections can be quite helpful if you're in an altcoin trade, as if Bitcoin tests this upper trend line, that might be an excellent opportunity to take profits from your altcoin trade. Or likewise, if the price action breaks down here and you've just entered an altcoin trade, that would be an indication to exit. Or if the price action comes back down here, that might be a great time to buy in as prices are low. And zooming out for a brief, broader perspective, this is the monthly chart. This is the previous all-time high put in November 2021, and this is the upcoming Bitcoin halving in April. A bit of perspective then on Bitcoin. We've had some capitulation following the spot ETF approvals in the US, where fear temporarily took over. You can see this wick here. However, since the spot ETFs have been approved, a significant amount of Bitcoin has already been taken off the market. And with Bitcoin obviously having a finite supply, paying attention to how much Bitcoin is being mined on any given day and how much is being bought up can give us a hint as to what is around the corner in terms of price action. As an example, on January the 29th alone, 254 million in Bitcoin was bought up by ETFs. That's 6,047 Bitcoin taken off the table in just one day. For comparison, only 900 new Bitcoins are mined each day, so that's a significant disparity. And because supply and demand is such a fundamental driver behind the price of something, uptrend continuation appears likely for Bitcoin in the coming months. If you're willing to put in the time to get to know this market and develop your skills, you can achieve percentage gains like these. I will be routinely breaking down successful trades and highlighting my decision-making process for each one. No hot air or bluster here, just the cool breeze of a strategy that works. If this content is for you, please consider subscribing. Crypto news. Skybridge Capital founder and managing partner Anthony Scaramucci has predicted that Bitcoin will hit at least $170,000 post-halving, which is coming in April. Go back and look at Bitcoin halving cycles, Scaramucci said on the Scott Melker podcast. The day that Bitcoin halves, multiply it by 4, and 18 months later, it's been uncanny. That's been the price of Bitcoin. He goes on to explain that his prediction of Bitcoin reaching $170,000 18 months after the halving event in April was based on using $35,000 as the assumed minimum price of Bitcoin this April. He goes on to explain, but let's say we were $50,000 in April, then that would be $200,000 Bitcoin 18 months after the halving. Scaramucci previously disclosed that he was the first external investor in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF prior to its approval and launch on January the 11th. If you'd like to learn more about Bitcoin's upcoming halving event and why Scaramucci's prediction for Bitcoin is well within the realm of possibility based on historical trends and Bitcoin's natural de-inflationary cycle, you can check out our short on the Bitcoin halving, link in the description. And to follow up on the approvals of Bitcoin spot ETFs in the United States and the impact that's now having, analysts are optimistic about growing momentum as Asia looks to also get in on the fun. Multiple analysts have told CoinDesk that the much-awaited approval of Bitcoin spot ETFs in the United States can give unprecedented momentum for similar regulatory approvals in and around Asia, even though some regions may not necessarily be able to create the ideal policies for such a move straight away. CoinDesk spoke to more than a dozen analysts and industry participants, a majority of whom said that Australia would likely be the next country to approve Bitcoin spot ETF products. Hong Kong has also voiced the most interest in achieving the reality of a Bitcoin ETF approval, and that the US approval could move things along faster for almost all jurisdictions in the area. So the approval of Bitcoin spot ETFs in the United States isn't so much about celebrating the fact that the United States is now giving its citizens access to such trading funds. It's more so about the fact that it legitimizes Bitcoin in the eyes of the rest of the world, and perhaps don't want to be left behind as the Bitcoin and digital currency revolution gains pace. This subscriber asked, how do I make $945,000 in crypto? Simple. You just start by doing this one thing. Trade less. Obviously, I'm being a little facetious, but the reality is one well-chosen trade beats 10 poorly chosen trades. To have any hope of making that kind of money in the crypto market, you need to hold on to what you have. So be selective, don't overtrade, and don't risk capital unnecessarily. Keep that in mind, and the money will come. At the start of this video, I asked the question, which long setup is ready to trade? The answer is A. Both setups have broken out of a diagonal trend line previously acting as resistance, but where A has the 200 moving average below its price action acting as support, B has the 200 moving average above acting as resistance. In addition, B also has another diagonal trend line to surpass before it can move higher. So B has more resistance and more sellers to overcome before it can ascend further, whereas A has more support beneath it and less resistance above it by comparison. So that's the long setup to trade. If you got it right, let us know in the comments. That's it for now. Don't forget to check out the latest weather report on this channel before entering a trade. Be safe out there. Catch you in the next one. Until then.